Few inventions of this still young millennium have taken the world by storm the way the modern selfie has. From Naked Kim to Ellen and her Oscar posse, some selfies are now immortalized in pop culture lore. As harmless as the act may seem, a smartphone self-portrait has resulted in career trouble for a few notable members of law enforcement. It seems that some cops confuse to serve and protect with to pose and snap. Plain stupid. As the saying goes, there's a time and place for everything. Safe to say that a plane crash site is no place for cop selfies, as two Brighton officers found out this past October. When a Hawker Hunter jet aircraft crashed onto a highway near Shoreham Airport in Brighton, killing 11 people, two officers on the scene decided it was a good idea to take some offensive video selfies. They were reprimanded harshly and forced to resign when they failed to show compassion and remorse for their actions. Too many chiefs, too many selfies. It's not often a police chief is fired, but when Jeffrey Blackwell, top dog of the Cincinnati PD, got the proverbial axe, one of the accusations cited was unlawful use of a smartphone. On top of belittling his staff and breaking department rules, Chief Blackwell apparently used his status to shamelessly self-promote, to the extent that during a funeral procession of a fallen officer, he stopped to take selfies with passers-by. Selfie state of mind. You'd think in a busy metropolis like New York, the police department would have much more important things to worry about than the selfies their officers post on social media. Well, you'd be wrong. Recently, the NYPD launched an investigation into the inappropriate pics posted and shared by 6 female cops. An exposed tat here, a duck face there, and maybe a bikini shot or two. Inappropriate? Maybe. Smoking hot? Definitely. #inappropriate. In North York, England, an officer assigned to take pictures of a 4-car collision and post the info on Twitter decided to provide some supplementary selfies for kicks. The officer took smiley self-portraits with members of the emergency responders with the hashtag #professionalsatwork. Some social media users, including one of the victims who sustained minor injuries, were not amused, labeling the officer disrespectful. Snap Island. Okay, so I'm sure we all imagine that Iceland is not exactly one of the more criminally infested nations in the Western world, but if you follow the Reykjavik police Instagram and have bore witness to all the goofy faces, clown noses, and goose feeding, you've probably surmised that these Icelandic cops are either really happy or really bored. Citation invasion. It's one thing to not take life too seriously, it's another to just make matters worse by taking a poorly timed selfie. If you've been pulled over, it's probably not a good idea to turn the camera around on the cop giving you a ticket unless you've asked politely first. And even then, you're probably better off just giving the officer a "sir, yes sir" or "ma'am, yes ma'am" and driving off before you get yourself into more trouble. Facial profiling. Sometimes an impromptu photo is the best way to show how ridiculous the world can be. When Chris Rock was stopped by the cops for driving while black 3 times in 2 months, he decided to share it with the world by taking a selfie on the scene of the non-crime. Rock later said that he sold his $90,000 Mercedes and bought a Prius because he was tired of being pulled over. Un-PC KC. Cops have been taking a lot of heat lately over the numerous recent incidents of police brutality, so when 2 Kansas City officers rolled up at a stop sign that had graffiti markings that said "Cops, stop murdering," they decided that it was the perfect place to whip out their rifles and pop a selfie. Residents of the area witnessed the not-so-well-timed photo shoot and reported them to their superiors, promoting an internal investigation. Perks of the job. In 2013, at the University of the Incarnate Word in San Antonio, an employee of the police department decided to snap a topless selfie. Although not an actual police officer, this topless selfie is notable because, well, it's a topless selfie. After other employees found out about the photo and shared it throughout the department, the former part-time worker strangely had her hours boosted from 20 a week to 46. The perks didn't last long, as the woman was later fired for her lewd behavior. What do you think of all these selfies? Have you ever witnessed a police officer acting inappropriately? Head on over to the comments and share your thoughts with us. Please give us a thumbs up before you go and tell all your friends about us. Thanks for watching.